welcome to the Ladywing Designs channel. My name is Zakia and we are here on May the 1st, 2020. It is a Friday and I need to do a whip update so that I can go ahead and get started with my mania plans and already be caught up with you guys. So, I hope everyone is doing well. If you're a new viewer, I hope that you find something you like. I never say it. At some point I'm gonna do, I've been thinking about it a lot. At some point I'm gonna do like an intro video for the channel, um, so that I can just like pop it in every video and not have to do like intro stuff. Um, yeah, because that would just be easier. But anyway, we talk about cross stitch here and knitting, and they kind of fight for my attention most of the time. That's how it goes. Yeah, so welcome if you're new, and hello if you're returning. It's good to metaphorically see you again. I'm really just talking to a camera, whatever. Um, yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well, whether you're bundled up at home or still going out every day. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. So let's jump right into it. I don't think I have much to say admin wise, so we're just gonna jump right in with some finished objects. So the first one, oh, this is the back. Okay, the first one that I have, you can see it's on the same piece of fabric as another one, but I finished my needle art gift pattern from Marjorie Massey, and I received this pattern as like a little thank you gift when I made a purchase from Kitten Stitcher. So here it is, all finished. It's on 32 count River Rock linen from Color and Cotton, and most of the threads are also Color and Cotton. The only ones that aren't are the blue and purple variegated, there you go, in the berries, and this stem color, which is a brown, brown to gray variegation. You can't really see the gray. Maybe, like right in here. I think you can kind of see it there. And there's more gray like in here. Anyway, I love it. Both of those are DMC colors. And the rest of it is Color and Cotton. I love it. I did change the initials also. I might sneeze here. I did change the initials for myself here in gold, as well as for the two ladies that I kind of did a sal for it with. Kristen of Blue Bonnets and Whiskey, both on FlossTube and Instagram, and Michelle Bendy Stitchy. So yeah, it's all done. I just love it so much. I could look at it forever. I love it. So I need to get a frame now, or figure out some other grand idea for how to finish it, but I honestly would just like to look at this one. So I think I'm just gonna frame it. I have a new, well, it's not really new anymore. I just haven't taken the time to organize anything onto it. But there's a bookshelf over here now, so I'm thinking I'm gonna frame it and sit it on top of that, because then I can look at it literally all the time. Yeah. And then right in here, I put my signature, or the year rather. I kind of signed it. Sorry for that. Well, not that I can help it, but you know, whatever. Okay, enough. I can't stop staring at it, y'all. Okay, so I finished that this past weekend. Actually, I finished it a week ago on Friday with 24 hours of cross stitch. That was the first 7.5 hours of my marathoning. And then after I finished that one, oh, that's where this one came in. So after I finished that one, I worked on Change of Seasons a little bit, like very little. I think it was like an hour and a half. And I think since then it's gotten very little work. I tried to work on it a couple days ago and could barely stay focused at all. So that is where I am on this. It's very slow. I honestly have no idea if y'all can even tell any difference. So this is Change of Seasons from Mystic Stitch. Um, it's basically a tree going through the four seasons. But yeah, we're starting, or page one where I'm starting is like in the fall section, but most of the first page and like half of the second page is this color. So I'm just focusing on getting a lot of it done right now. And it would go faster if I would work on it, but I'm not. Yeah. So 25 count linen, 1/1 full cross, Silver Moon sewing for the Grime Guard, Brenda's Minders and More. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say about that one. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of work on it. So, and then after that, so I have worked on that since the marathon last weekend. But kind of going back to that, um, after midnight for Jessie Marie's birthday sal, the hashtag shortest B-Day sal, I started a new project, which I thought, so it does, because Halloween is totally a season of the year, and so that has something to do with time, but I totally thought that this was a clock here in the middle. I don't know why I just assumed that that was a clock. I didn't pay enough attention to like the little dip here in the middle. It's totally a bird in front of the moon. That makes so much more sense. I was kind of wondering why there was a clock and why it didn't say like midnight or something, but whatever. So I had started this and I think I got most of this top half done during the marathon, which I got 22 out of 24 hours stitched during the marathon last weekend. 24 hours was my goal. I thought I was going to end up raising the goal because I did kind of a lot of hours on Friday, but Saturday was a bust. There was not a lot of stitching done that day. Um, yeah, and that's okay. But let's see, what else from this weekend? I did do I totally had to add a minute. Anyway, I did a marathon vlog, um, and then and then ended the weekend with a craft with me. So that's up on the channel if you haven't seen it. Whether you want to just watch the craft with me part at the end, or if you wanted to watch through the marathoning. Um, yeah, so that's up on the channel. And then also, just a big thank you to Sammy at Sammy J Stitches. I mean, not that she knew, but I just happened to be in the room for 24 hours of cross stitch. I was in the virtual stitchers room. I will link the Facebook group below for that. Just know that you do need to fill out all of the questions for them to consider adding you to the group. Um, yeah, but that was great. I got to spend some time with them to start out the marathon, and we got to say happy birthday to Jessie when her birthday started in her time zone. And yeah, so anyway, she every hour when she did her check-in on her vlog for her episodes, she would pull a different floss tuber, or maybe they weren't all floss tubers. I didn't catch if everyone had a floss tube channel or not. But basically, she was pulling people out of the virtual Stitchers room and just basically asking us what we were doing for the marathon, what we were working on. You know, just a little chat to bring some fun, kind of do something special, I guess, for the marathon. Um, and she put that over in her latest episode. So I'll just leave a direct link to that episode in the description box. I'll have all the links down there for stuff that I talk about. Um, I'm kind of rethinking, I'm thinking about redoing the blog. I have a lot of stuff planned right now. Yeah, it's a matter of getting it all thought out and making myself take the time to do it, because right now I just want to craft. So anyway, all the links will be in the description box below. Thank you to Sammy J for kind of giving me that little feature time. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like super fangirl moment, because I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't really want to mention it in my video because um, I had a feeling that she was just gonna put it in her vlog, so I wanted that to come out first. But yeah, it was fun. It was kind of weird to watch myself on someone else's channel that has, or before that, it hadn't happened yet, so that was kind of cool. But anyway, okay, enough about that. So, not during the marathon, but a couple days ago, I finished my Quaker de Halloween from Jardin Privé. So, during the last video with the Craft With Me, with that vlog episode, I asked y'all if I should work on finishing this during April or just like, you know, enjoy it, let it flow, and finish it whenever. Yeah, I'm just gonna not ask you guys questions like that anymore because I knew from the beginning that I wanted to finish it during April, so I could get it out of the way. Honestly, the original plan was to finish it during the weekend, but not stitching a lot on Saturday didn't really help with that, so that's okay. It is done now. There are totally mistakes in here. Um, and there are also some pretty good stories behind them and good memories. So I'm here for it. I did change the only, I mean, besides the mistakes, the only thing that I changed really was the spiders. They only had 6 legs per pattern, and spiders don't have 6 legs. They have 8. So I just shifted the middle leg up and added, or middle legs up and added 2 more to each spider, and they're both different because I did this one first and then tweaked it on the other one, so I love it. I love the cat with its little fur sticking up. Um, yeah, the back stitch was actually kind of fun to do in this because there wasn't too much of it. And then I also really love my signature. I love it. So, there's something very aesthetically pleasing about backstitching 2020 because I also really love my signature on needle art. Okay, anyway, so that is this one. It's stitched on 32 count light mocha Belfast linen. Just ordered it off of 123 Stitch. DMC black and B5200 everywhere that there is white. So there is that. And both of these count as more finishes towards the hashtag stay home and finish your whips Sal, which was started by Jen Lee of Quirks and Stitches, the same Jen Lee that always hosts 24 hours of cross stitch, which is always fun I think the next one, July, I think. Yeah, the next one is in July. Um, okay. So the other cross stitch whip that, or cross stitch anything that, well, okay, cross stitch whip focus that I have to show y'all is Thanksgiving. I honestly don't remember when I worked on this. I can't remember. Sometime during April, but here is where I am on it. So this is Thanksgiving from Tilton Crafts. It's a free pattern. It's still free and available as free on their website, as of a couple weeks ago anyway. That was the last time I'd looked. But this is where I am. I'm really enjoying picking this up again. I haven't worked on it in maybe a week now, but definitely enjoying it. I have reached the right side of page 4. So I've kind of started feathering this block. The colors that would have been feathered over here, I wasn't using. So there's no feathering right there, but I think we'll be okay. Um, yeah, so now I'm working down this diagonal. You can see I never even finished that square, so I'll get back to that whenever I pick it up again. And we're still a couple squares from the bottom of the page. So I'm stitching this on 22 count, even weave fabric that Loops and Threads says is Ada, but it's not. I bought it from Michael's. Okay, note to self, there's a bobbin of 310 right there. Didn't know that. Yeah, needle minders, the Tom and Jerry and the witch boots are from Vicky Stitch and Button. The sheep is sampling of memories, and this one is Thrifty Thread in Z. I love this one. It's a skull matrushka, which is a nesting doll. That's what matrushka means in Russian. Okay. The grime guard on that one is from a shop that's no longer on Etsy, and I'm not sure if they're selling it anywhere else. So I don't have a link for that one. Okay, we're moving right along today. Yeah, I guess that's just kind of the mood I'm in. I'm like, let's go, get stuff done. Hopefully I'm not moving too fast for y'all to understand though. That's just how my brain's working today, I guess. I'm ready to get stitching. I was supposed to start, I was supposed to kind of kick off my mania last night talking to some friends, and that didn't happen because I ended up knitting. um, okay, so the last whip. Did I say the last whip the other time? I don't know why I said that. It's gonna be okay. So the latest whip that I have even worked on in cross stitch is being held in this Pretty Southern project bag, and it is cardinal points. So this is cardinal points from Long Dog Samplers. I am stitching it on 18 count white Aida 2/1 with DMC threads. It's a conversion from the called for Gast. Okay. I don't know if, I feel like you can't see it all that well. See if I can. Okay, that's better. It's so bright and sunny. It's beautiful here today. I might need to go for a walk later. I have several audiobooks checked out to me right now. I go through phases with my books where I'm gonna talk about this in a second. Let's just take a jump down this rabbit hole. I have like 4 audiobooks and an ebook checked out to me right now. I go through phases where I'm like, I want to read. So, I mean, I always want to read. I'm really like wanting to get back into my reading. I want to read through my shelves because there's so many books that I bought years ago and still haven't read. I want to finish series. I want to start new series. I just generally want to get back into reading, but my brain just like, yeah, it doesn't stick with it for too long. So there are phases where I have a bunch of library books checked out to me, and then I usually don't get started on any of them, and they all expire, and then I go months without checking anything out, and then it starts all over again eventually. Yeah, so right now we're at the phase where I have all these books checked out to me, and I think it's been close to a week. Yeah, because of course I like check them all out within like a few days of each other, which is seriously not smart. Because then I maybe start a book like a week before they're all due. So yeah, that's not helpful. Anyway, all that to say, I really like listening to audiobooks while I walk outside. Maybe that'll happen. I make zero promises. Mania started, so kind of have other priorities right now. But anyway, so I'll stop teasing now. Let's just talk about this, yeah? I have finished the top half of Cardinal Points. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. So the only thing that I do have to go back in and change is this W. As you can see, I'm changing all of the letters to yellow so that they stand out a little more, and this one had already been done when I was over here on page 1. So when I start back on page 4, because I am going to jump back over here and work across again. So I will fix that then. But I'm super excited about this. Yeah, I'm super in love with it. So all of this is done. I am not, well, I don't think I'm going to pick this up during May. I did a lot of work on it, honestly, in a short amount of time during April by finishing this top half. Because I did most of that top half during April. So, well, maybe not most, definitely half or a little bit over half of that was done during April. So I'm going to take a break during May unless I feel like getting it out at some point. We'll talk about mania plans in a minute here. And yeah, so as of right now, this is not coming back out until June. I'm aiming for a September finish before or on its birthday on September 17th. So that is where I am. All right, enough of that. I love it. I already know, whoops, I already know which long dog sampler is going to replace this one when I'm finished. It will be Anzac, the pattern that they released a little earlier this year for Australia and New Zealand Army Corps Day. It's Australia and New Zealand's version of Memorial Day, kind of. That's the way that I interpreted it. So, yeah, the things you learn, well, specifically from virtual stitchers, I learned that, but I have Australian friends also in my knit group, so in the knit night group. So, yeah, okay. My brain's just like on overload. I feel like I went through all of that so fast. Okay, the last whip that I have, let's just grab all of this, is knitting. Because, yeah, that's where I am right now. So in April, I finished 2 shawls, my hitchhiker shawl and the Linus shawl, which I still haven't posted on Instagram. Because I still haven't taken like a really good picture of it. Nonetheless, I currently have 3 sweaters and another top, at least, on the needles as far as garments. Like I said, I maybe have more than that. Who knows? And I have been feeling the pull lately to start a new garment and use up. Hold on, I didn't even get. Hold on. Okay, not cutting that out. Sorry for the crinkling. Um, okay, so I have a sweater quantity of this gorgeous cotton yarn. It's from Creek Garden Crafts. It's 100% Pima cotton, um, in their neutral colorway. It's gray. It's totally blowing out because of all the sunlight. But anyway, it's a light gray. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I started, again, sorry for the crinkling. I started probably a year ago now, 2 years ago, whenever this pattern was released. I don't remember. I started a shrug again from Cozy Up Knits. It's a shrug cardigan mix. Shrug again. Anyway, it's adorable, and I still would love to knit that pattern, but it's just at such a tight gauge. And with me being such a loose knitter, I have to go down to such small needles. This is where I got to when I had just done like the sleeve separation, and that's how big it was. Um, so, which, I don't know, I mean, maybe that was right, but it didn't feel like it. And it wasn't comfortable. I was going to be knitting a sweater on literal sock needles because I use like double zeros for my sock needles. So, yeah, so that just wasn't gonna work. So I stopped, and I started ripping it out, and I clearly never finished. But I've really been wanting to use this yarn still because I love the yarn, and I love the idea of having a cotton garment to wear because I live in the South and summers are horrendous. But I am totally an advocate for wearing hand knits all year round. Whenever I get around to washing all of my socks, I will go right back to wearing those right now because I wear hand knit socks all year round. Like my feet stay cold, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I finally got tired of telling myself that I couldn't have a new garment because I just didn't feel like knitting on anything I already had, of course. So, and I'm also saving things for an event. I don't know if I'm gonna talk. Okay, let's just talk about it now. Rabbit holes, right? We're already there. So, um, the event is hosted by Leslie and Laura of the Knit Girls. That's with three L's. They have a knitting podcast over on YouTube. They're hands down one of my favorite podcasts. I absolutely love them. And every year they host Stash Dash from sometime at the end of May until sometime in August. Laura is a teacher, so it's kind of based around when she is off from school and has more time to craft. And when they started this, and this is still, the goal, but she wanted to focus on finishing projects and getting things done. And so basically, the whole thing with Stash Dash is finishing your projects that you have sitting around, right? It's motivation to get them done. Some people specifically save projects for Stash Dash. I have never done that until this year. Um, I usually just knit like I normally would, and if I finish things, then those things get counted for the or for the event. It's not even necessarily a knit along. It's knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, lots of fiber arts happening. But anyway, so if you finish like knitting a sweater, if I have actual knitting left to be done on that garment, I'm not sure. I don't think just weaving in ends counts. I think you have to do some form of that craft on the project before you finish, and then finishing it off, and then you can count it. So if I just have half a sleeve left on a sweater and then it's done, I don't just get to count. So hold on, I don't just get to count the meters, yardage, how much yarn I've used in that half a sleeve. I get to count the whole sweater, which feels like cheating, but is also like epic. So people can end up with like giant totals for things that they've like finished during stash dash. Whatever. It makes us feel good, and that's what we're going with. I feel like lots of people would agree with me there. Yeah, so you count all of your yarn officially. You report it in meters because stash dash set up like a race. Um, so yeah, like so each of the tiers for when you set your goal, there's 1K and below, 5K, 7K, 10K, all of that. And then they have, I think, is it 15 and beyond? There's some people that get a lot of stuff done. Yeah, so I've never actually like specifically saved things for Stash Dash until this year. I was gonna actually pick up one of my sweaters that I enjoy working on, but I was like, wait, Stash Dash starts in less than a month, so I'm gonna wait for that because I would like to get a lot of my knitting whips done. So maybe we'll be seeing that. Who knows? Anyway, okay, I got off on such a tangent there. I know y'all love it, so there you go. Okay, so knitting whips. I finally let myself just say, I'm gonna cast on a sweater because that's what I need right now. And so far, it was a very good decision. It's making me super happy. So, I went Ravelry hunting as you do, and it came down to a couple, but I decided on the Rachel top, and it's the pattern name is just Rachel, but I mean, you can see that it's a top. You guys are smart. Anyway, this is Rachel. The pattern is written by Veronica Job. I think that's how you pronounce your last name. And she is the uh, yarn dyer behind Yarn on the House, which I've never tried but would love to. Um, yeah, so this is the pattern. You can see it's um, full lace on the front, and the back panel is also full lace, and then stockinette sleeves. Yeah, I love this. I don't know. Hold on. I haven't scrolled like through the whole pattern. No. Okay, there aren't other pictures in the pattern, but anyway, it's just gorgeous. Of course, now it's not gonna load up. Whatever. It's just gorgeous, and I'm really hoping that I can get this done before summer is over, which I mean, summer here lasts through like October, so I should be okay. Um, but anyway, here is where I am. You can see I am just really getting to the point where you can kind of tell it's not some weird snake thing. So I'm using my beloved Chowgu red lace needles. Are you ready for another tangent? This one makes sense at least. I don't know. I'm sure that I've shown my needle case off, especially since I bought it after I started recording videos on YouTube. But anyway, these are my absolute favorite needles. Chowgu Twist interchangeables. This is the needle pouch. I so you can get this. I think I ordered mine off of Amazon, but I mean they also have a website that you can order from. Well, I'm sure. I know they have their products on there. I feel like you can order from them too. Anyway, mine was, I think, $115, so it is an investment, but if you knit a lot, I think it's totally worth it. I'm that person that has to have the full set, even though I'm a loose knitter and I rarely ever use these bigger needles. I just have to have the full set because you never know. You might need them one day, maybe your friend needs them, which totally did happen at some point. I think I let someone borrow some needles. But yeah, so highly recommend Chavu red lace. They also have a wooden set also. The metal ones are the twist needles, and I think the wooden ones are spin needles. I don't have the wooden ones, although I have been saying I want a new needle set because I have two and all my needles are in projects. So the correct answer here is to buy another needle set, right? Not finished projects. Yeah. Mhm. Actually, I should really add that to my Christmas list. I should actually do that. I would like. Mm. Okay, anyway, says the I just told someone the other day that I was meant to be a stitcher and not a knitter, but here we are. I'm just a crafter. That's how that works. So anyway, here we are on the sweater. I love it. It's got two different stitch patterns happening on. Whoops, this is gonna be difficult. Oh gosh, that's not gonna work. Okay, on different parts of the pattern. So there's like this broken something. I don't even know. Broken rib, I think she calls it. I can't remember. Anyway, it's fun to work right here. These are the side panels. And then um, the lace. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't drop stitches because that's happened before on these videos and that project still hasn't been picked up again. Anyway, you can kind of see the start of the lace. It honestly might look super wonky. Um, I feel like I'm trying to like find a good section of yarn overs to show y'all. I feel like it just, yeah, it's kind of wonky still. I'm still like trying to figure out exactly how tight I need to be kind of holding my yarn and such with my tensioning. I did what I call a cheat gauge swatch. The pattern, well, she actually does give you the gauge to measure both in stockinette and in the lace pattern, but naturally, well, also Ravelry only had the stockinette one up there. I didn't see the lace one until I opened the pattern. Um, but anyway, cheat swatch. I basically start knitting a little swatch as if I'm going to do a whole 4x4 square or whatever. And then I knit enough where I can measure my stitch count, my stitch gauge. Cotton does not grow a lot, doesn't stretch a lot when you block it because it's not a very stretchy fiber. So, yeah, I think I swatched on a US 4 and that was too loose. So the next needle size that I even had in my set, but that I thought would work well for this, which it seems to be so far, is a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter needle. That seems to be working so far. I might be a little bit below or not on gauge, but it's going to be fine. It's already super oversized. It's supposed to be super oversized. Um, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, so that's where I am on that right now. Um, I got this stitch marker from, you can see it there. It's got a little bead here and then a butterfly at the bottom there. And I got that from my good friend Teresa from 33rd Street Knits on Instagram and on YouTube. She has a podcast herself. Um, yeah, so we'll talk about the package that came in a little bit too. Lots of good things to talk about, and apparently all the rambling has now lengthened the episode accordingly. There you go. Everything's back to normal now. So I am holding my yarn in a whoops, that's upside down, in a skein coat from Precious Knits Shop. .com. There you go. and she'll be linked, or the shop will be linked um, below in the description box. Gosh, so many things to link. Anyway, okay, I think that's it for what I wanted to tell you for that whip. It was a lot. There were multiple tangents there. Oh, I wanted to show y'all this because I just know that there are people out there that understand me, and also this is how my brain works. Yeah. So this pattern there, it's like one of those bittersweet things because I love complicated knits, and this is not complicated at all. The lace is very simple, but I just love things that look more complicated than they are. So seriously, way more complicated than it is. You have to keep track of two different kind of cycles, two different repeats of things. So, and it was kind of confusing me when I first read it. Like I had to take a few minutes, and like make sure that I was starting the counting in the right spot on the repeats so that it would end up where I needed to be anyway. So basically, these are the repeats for the lace chart, and you can see I've written out, so like the circled numbers are the repeat. I have to do 16 repeats of this lace chart. Well, that's not giving away secret sauce. I'm not telling you the lace chart. This is a paid for pattern. So I have to do 16 repeats of this lace chart. So the circled numbers are the number repeat that I would be on, and it has 8 rows. So you can see I've just written 1 through 8 a bunch of times, and as I finish each row, I am marking it off. So that's how I will know where I am on that. And then we have to keep up with some decreases. So again, I wrote down the decrease kind of repeat cycle that we're supposed to follow because it's every so often. Um, and it all works out. Like I should end at, the last rows at the same point. Um, so yeah, every time I finish a row, I'm marking off one over here, mark off one over here. And so as long as I keep up with it, I think I'm going to have to put a marker on my project every time I knit like a row 1 so that I will always be able to like count back. I probably should put a marker back at the very first one too. Okay, need to do that. Um, yeah, so anyway, it'll help me know where I am as long as I stay on track. And once I get those markers in the project, I'll be able to like double check myself. I love doing stuff like this. I love knitting lace. I love knitting cables. I love knitting brioche. Like, I am all here for the not stockinette knitting. But I'm also here for the stockinette knitting and the garter. So there's a time for everything. But yeah, that's how my brain works. I showed that when I was casting this on and like getting started and came across that, I was on a Zoom call with Amy from Creativity Baggage, who doesn't knit, but it was just really funny because she was like, "Oh my gosh, that looks insane," and it's like, no, it's seriously way less complicated than it looks. Like, it looks like I've written down and done a bunch of math. It's not math at all. I wrote down how much I need to do, basically. And I'm checking off rows as I go. So, okay, we gotta speed this up because my stomach is growling kind of loud now. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I can definitely hear it. And I need to eat. So, okay, now I need to find my phone so I can look at my show notes. Where are we? Okay, so let's talk about some. Oh gosh, sorry. Okay, let's actually do retail therapy first. So, let's start with this because I've already mentioned it. Okay, so Teresa on 33rd Street Knits, she was the third person in my sock chain, and I now have received my social sock knitting challenge. Ooh, stocks again, sorry. stomach's getting upset, so now I'm like having hunger burps. All right. Having like a whole situation over here, but I refuse to stop. This video has to be recorded right now. So, I can't even remember how many months ago now, but if you do remember, maybe scroll back a bit on my Instagram feed. Anyway, there was a sock social knitting challenge. Don't remember the order of those words. Sorry. Or rather, excuse me. What do you say to that? Anyway, we're talking about me popping my bones here. Okay, regardless. Social sock knitting challenge. You start a pair of socks by knitting your cuff or your toe, whatever, and then I started with the toe, and then you send it off to a person. They knit so much into it. They send it to the next person. They keep knitting and whatever yarn they add, and then they send it to a third person. They knit, and I wasn't sure if the third person was supposed to also knit your cuff or not, but my Teresa did. She was the third person in my chain, and she did. So thank you, Teresa, because now, I mean, I wouldn't have minded, but now I don't have to do the ribbing. And she did extra long ribbing, which is going to be super awesome. Yeah, and then they send it back to the original owner, and you put in afterthought heels, and I guess a cuff for your toe if you need to. Yeah, so I got mine back. This let's back up. This was started and hosted by Super Green Witch on Instagram. I will make sure that her Instagram is in the description box, of course. And yeah, so I happened to hear about this from the lovely family um, over on the International Virtual Knit Nights group, which is another kind of, not kind of, another Zoom room that I've been a part of for a couple of years now. It is a subscription based VKN now. So starting this year, we do pay an annual subscription fee to help out with the the fee that the host have to pay for keeping the Zoom room up and everything. Um, yeah, and it's not like an exorbitant amount or anything. But yeah, just a heads up. I will link the Facebook group or maybe their Instagram. Well, probably the Facebook group. Anyway, I'll link them below, but just so that you're aware, it is a paid service. And you do like talk to the host and have a one-on-one Zoom meeting with them, just so they can like go over kind of how it works and show you the Zoom room and stuff in case you've never worked with Zoom. And so you can kind of meet them and stuff. Anyway, I love it. I've been a part of it for a couple years, and they're totally family. I love them. Yeah, so I heard about the sock knitting challenge over there because some people were doing it, and at first I wasn't gonna do it, but then I was like, how awesome would it be to have a pair of socks that some VKN friends knit for me? So all three of my people are in the VKN, and coincidentally they were all in the U.S., but I mean that wasn't necessarily a hardship. So yeah, so without further ado, let me show you the socks. There are two of them, and I have not put into my heels yet. The first lady that stitched, there was a drop stitch, so she caught it with a stitch marker, so I'll have to pull that up, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, so I haven't added in my heels yet, but that's okay. You'll get to see them before and after now. So, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put, well, I'll hold up the other one since it doesn't have the marker on it. So I started, if you remember from way back when, my, I started the socks off with a toe in, uh, it was on my coffee table. It must have fallen or something. But this is Lolo Did It in the Hippo for Mardi Gras 2018 colorway. Um, So I started it off with that colorway, and I love that they kind of went with it. So everything's got purple in it. It kind of works. So the first knitter was Erin in Illinois, Indiana. I don't remember now. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two though. It's either Illinois or Indiana, I think. I can't remember. But Erin, um, she's Erin Ireland 2 over on Instagram, and she used, I sent like a little note out with mine, and they all like wrote what yarn they used. Probably because they knew I was going to talk about it on the podcast, so I would want to know. Okay, that's smart. Because I didn't ask them to tell me that, so it works. I'm probably also going to keep this note, honestly. But anyway, so Erin knit um, some Cascade Heritage sock in this beautiful purple color, and you can see she did this gorgeous cable pattern. Um, oh, yeah, I love it. Just love it. Like I said, I love cables, so um, yeah, so that was the first one. And then they were sent to Missy in California, and hers is Life in the Long Grass in their 80/20 sock, which, oh my gosh, I would love to use their yarn. Um, I've yet to use any. And she did another beautiful cable pattern. So just some simple cables here, and I love that. So that this colorway is actually showing up darker than it really is. It's a little bit brighter. It's not quite that dark. And here that is on the back. So this is the bottom of the foot, so everything's stockinette. So there's that purple and this color. Yeah, totally. That's a little bit. Mm, that I feel like that's a bit better. Anyway, so then Teresa from 33rd Street Knits. Oh, Missy is Mercury Mind on Instagram. Um, she's amazing at baking. She frequently shows what she's making. They always make us hungry. Um, yeah, so then Missy sent them to Teresa, who is in Kansas. And like I said, she's 33rd Street Knits on Instagram and YouTube. And her yarn is Wichita Woolery yarn in violet backed starling. So it looks like it's a self striping, or it's a variegated that just happened to kind of stripe at her gauge. But anyway, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And you can see she did super long cuffs, which I totally appreciate. Thank you. They are already done for me now. So, oh, that's perfect. You can see the front and the back there. So, yeah, I will be adding in my heels to these, and then just uh, because of pet peeves I have, they will be washed. Um, well, I might have to ask Teresa. That's 80/20, so that's superwash and Cascade Heritage. I'll have to ask Teresa just to be sure if this yarn um, has superwash in it, but I feel like it does. It looks and feels like it's superwash, so hopefully it does, and these will be getting, well, they're gonna get washed regardless, but I am thinking about just tossing all of my socks or all of the superwash socks into the washer and possibly the dryer. Um, because you're supposed to be able to do that with them anyway if they're superwash. And I just don't feel like letting them soak in the tub and laying them all out to dry. I'm being honest, I just don't. And I know other people like wash and dry their socks machine, or at the very least wash them. So let me know if there are any knitters or owners of hand knit socks that are super wash. What do y'all do to wash them? Because I know there are people that like put them in the washer. Do y'all also put them in the dryer, or do you still lay them out to dry? What do y'all do? Let me know. Um, yeah, I'm trying to be as lazy as possible. I'm not gonna lie. But they also have been needing to be washed for months now, and I miss my socks, so I need to wash. because that's kind of gross. Yeah. I haven't been wearing any of them. Um, they've just been sitting up dirty for a while, and I would like to wash them. Anyway, so social knitting socks, they have returned to me. I absolutely love them. So I need to get them finished now so that I can enjoy them in the heat that we're about to get. But that's okay. We have to stay inside anyway, right? So I'll have plenty of time. Um, okay. So much to tell you guys about. I'm getting parched here. So next, oh, not next. We're still on this. So with my socks, Teresa also sent a few goodies, which I super appreciate. I've already told her this. So the thank you to Erin and Missy and Teresa for knitting on my socks. That they mean so much to me. I'm super excited that I got to do that. So she sent those back, of course, and then she sent the little stitch marker that I showed y'all with the butterfly because Ladywing. Um, I'll talk about that last because that'll lead me into other things. Oh, I should have done the other retail therapy first because that would have. Too late. It's okay. So she also sent some wool, which thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm always well, okay, not always. Sometimes I can be a snob. Anyway, I love yeah, yarn. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. So this is Sistari. I'm gonna say Sistari. Sheep and Wool Company. Wait, where's this? Made in Churchville, Virginia. Interesting. So this is their traditional collection. It's 100% wool. This is the natural dark gray, which is interesting because it's brown. Um, Interesting. And this is natural light gray, which is more of like an ecru color. So that's interesting. It says dark gray and light. So now I'm wondering if this is literally like dark gray, light gray, or if that's mislabeled. But regardless, I am super excited to um, to find something to do with these. So they're worsted weight yarn. They are 100 grams, 170 yards each. So I haven't I haven't thought of something yet. I don't know. Thinking about I've been wanting to start designing again, but I haven't like been hit by any inspiration as of yet. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll get inspired. Regardless, even if they sit in the stash for a while before they become something, I am super excited about this. So, yeah, so she sent that. And then the other thing that she sent, this was supposed to like move us right into plans, but I still have other retail therapy. So, anyway, whatever. We're going to go with it. She also sent this cross stitch pattern because Teresa is also a stitcher and uh, I am such a stitcher with a capital S now instead of a knitter with a capital K that um, I always felt weird about it at first, but like it's just true. Like as much as I want to still be so into knitting, I'm not. I'm full on a stitcher now. Um, so a lot of the times that I'm on the VKN, I'm stitching. It's just how it works. But you know that's fine. People spin on there, people stitch or knit, whatever we're doing. Um, yeah. But anyway, so Teresa sent this pattern from Lizzie Kate. It's a snippet cross stitcher in residence, and this so you can't see it too much, but it does have there's a little charm right here in the middle of the house, and it does have the charm with it. And she sent some fabric, which is 28 count raw linen, raw natural linen, I think. This is going to be my first mania start today. So after I finish filming, because still going. And and edit and all of that stuff and eat, because oh my gosh, I need to eat, I'm going to be getting started on this. Spoiler, I think I might have 2 starts today. I don't know what the other one will be. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so let's finish off retail therapy first. So, if you've been around for a little bit, the last few months, you'll know that I am in Lolo Did It's Quotable Dumbledore Mystery Sock Yarn Club. I think I actually got all the words right there. So every month you pay every month for, so like at the end of April you pay for the next month. So like at the end of one month you pay for the next, anyway, it doesn't even matter. Okay. Calm down. It's fine. Ha. Okay. My brain's like turning into mush. Can y'all see it? I feel like it's visible. Is it visible? Everyone just take a second and breathe. Alright? Gonna fix my hair. Doing weird things. Okay, anyway. Everyone ready? So, Lolo Did It. Quotable Dumbledore Yarn Club. It's a sock set that we get every month. In a different color. I opened the plastic bag and then I ripped it open and then I thought, wait, you're about to record, because I went and checked the mail right before this. You're about to record. Let's do a live like unpackaging, right? Okay, so I haven't seen this either. I have no idea. She doesn't. At least I don't think she does. Tell us what the quote is for the month. I don't think she does. Okay. 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 Michelle's James Bond getting out of the water face. Every time. Like, I seriously do this every time. Even when I'm not on camera. Okay, so it's another purple, but I really like this. Okay, so now I'm thinking that because this is the third pink and purple one, and I was kind of thinking about using the other two in something together. Let me go get them. Hold on. I'm going to pause. Well, let's talk about this first, and then I'll go get them. So, this spoiler. Oh, I hope I didn't spoil this for anyone. Spoiler alert. Darn it. I wish I thought of that. Hopefully no one's spoiled. Sorry. But also the color's not necessarily showing up correctly, so whatever. Darn it. That means I'll have to edit. So I will try to remember to take a picture of this like on my fridge or something with a nice background. Maybe I'll even go outside and pop a picture in here for y'all. So anyway, it's this beautiful purple and it's like got the hints of the pink over in it. I love it. So the quote is, oh gosh, another one of my absolute favorite quotes. Oh my gosh. It is, it's from the first year. Okay. What happened down in the dungeon between you and Professor Quirrell is a complete secret. So naturally, the whole school knows. Don't ask me why my eyes just watered up. I guess I just got that excited. I don't know. Anyway, memories? I don't know. Does Harry Potter do that to y'all? I clearly do not care. Well, I do care, but I've been doing this for too long. I'm just like comfortable with this. Whatever. um, yeah, so that's the quote. I love it. I seriously love that. That actually makes me super happy. Okay, so let me go get those other two skeins, so we can talk about what I might do now. Okay, so one of them came out of the thing, but this one's January, so this one is the December one. Yeah, so this club started, there are 13 months total. It started in December 2019 and will go through December 2020. Like, that's the last month that we'll get one. So this is the first colorway from December. Okay, now that I'm looking at these, maybe not. This one is not quite as close as I thought. Okay, hold on. I didn't want to take these all out, but I'm going to so that we can look at the colors. And hopefully I will... Oh, please. How's everyone doing? Now this video is just going to be long because I take forever, but that's okay. I feel like you guys are hanging out and doing something anyway. Oh, okay, maybe this does need something. Okay, so anyway, this was December 2019, the very first one. I feel like that's showing up pretty accurate. It's a blue, like kind of a denim-y color with very much some purple hues over in there. I think it's got a bit more purple in it than it's showing up on screen. Excuse me for the sniffing, y'all. The crying did it. So this is December's colorway. She named it Ericid, the name of the mirror. And this was January 2020, so the second one. This is Earmuffs, and it's like a pinkish purpley color with kind of like blues and purple speckles over in it. Yeah, that's where the speckles are. The colors are not showing up correctly, so I'm trying to like hold them back here. And then this one. So, okay, maybe not in this order, but I think because this purple, y'all can kind of see that, like it also has the pinks over in it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Like, these are not necessarily my colors, but I feel like I love the blue and the purple. Like, y'all know pink is not necessarily my thing. But I mean, it does have the blue speckles, and, you know, these do have kind of a pinky bit to them. Like, it works. So now I don't know, like, do I want to do a sweater with these? Or, like, you know, some type of garment? Or, never mind. Nobody even, I know exactly what I'm doing with these. Anyway, all of the yarns that I am getting with this, they are 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and 10% tencel. That's her plush sock base. It does cost a little bit more, but this is my treat to myself. That's what it was meant to be. The financial struggles are kind of happening, but I am determined that I'm gonna get all of these. Because I usually don't do like monthly clubs like this, especially ones that last the whole year. Every once in a while I might do like a mystery thing that's like for 3 months or something. But this one's kind of big because I knew it's the whole year. It's Dumbledore, so it's Harry Potter. And I love Lolo Did It. I love her yarn. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's a treat, damn it. So yeah, anyway, so I think I know what I'm gonna do with those now. I already had a plan. If you're a knitter, or even if you're not a knitter, if you watch Amy of the Stranded podcast, Amy Florence, yeah, she just finished like a giant marled blanket for tiny humans. I'm not. Oh my gosh, no. I'm knitting for other pregnant people. But anyway, so maybe that's what I'm gonna do with that. I need to find something to hold it double with. But that can be easily solved. So, oh, no. Okay, right. I'm really trying like not to order things. So, okay, anyway. Is that it for retail therapy? I think it is. So, let's hurry this along because we're well, not well over an hour, but we're getting there. So, let's talk about mania. Okay, so I am now settled on a mania plan that I'm in love with and does not make me anxious at all. I had like 4 different ideas for mania that I wanted to do, and there's just no way for me to incorporate them all and get the progress that I want to see on all of them, and it was starting to stress me out. Every time I see someone that, had a great idea, I was like, I want to do that too because that's a great idea. How can I incorporate that? Right now, all of my whips are calling to me. I just want progress. I want finishes. Y'all are really inspiring me. Whether you have a floss tube or you're just posting on Instagram, like, y'all are seriously inspiring me right now. People are getting finishes, people are getting progress, and not that I'm not, but I want to be getting stuff done, and I feel like mania is that time of year where it's crazy, but a lot of people are seeking progress, and we're all kind of in this weird state, so, we're really working on things, and yeah, so it's just kind of a lot in my head, and I finally narrowed it down. So, Amy, Creativity by Gidge, but multiple Amy's in my life, but they're all amazing. Um, or they're both amazing. Anyway, Amy over at Creativity by Gidge, that is also her Instagram name. She'll be linked below. She had the brilliant idea of doing a stitch count mania. And if you're gonna join us, so on Instagram, I think she said the hashtag is just stitch count mania, MAYNIA. So a little bit of flashback. Everyone's talking about it right now, so I'm sure you've heard it elsewhere. But Stitch Mania was started back in 2015, basically as a let's get a bunch of starts, do something like a little out of our comfort zone, push the boundaries a little bit. So they started 15 projects for 2015 in the first 15 days of May. So every day they started a new project. It's as ever, as always with things like this, it has evolved. Um, some people have a new start every day. Some people are doing a new start each week. Some people focus on one whip. Some people focus on multiple projects, but only whips. There are just so many. Some people are focusing on page finishes. Kim, Spartan Stitcher. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of things to link. Anyway, they're just. Hold on. See, I have a links thing right here in my phone on my show notes, so that when I say random things and I'm like, you're not gonna remember that, I can be like, let me write that down right now. Let's see. I mentioned Kim, Amy, other Amy. I will totally understand that. Okay. Virtual stitchers, Ivy can. This is so necessary. Okay. Y'all are really getting a peek into my brain today. I'm doing what I gotta do to like adjust and keep myself going here. So anyway, so Stitch Mania, I am joining Amy. I was super overwhelmed, and we were talking the other day, and I was like, yeah, what are you doing for yours? And she was telling me about it. I love it. So, and I'm gonna do exactly what she's doing. She is aiming to stitch 1,000 stitches a day, and therefore at least, and therefore at the end of May have a goal in total, hopefully, of 31,000 stitches. I don't know about y'all, but that totally sounds kind of like comfort. I don't know. That was not going where I wanted it to go. Anyway, it totally sounds like out of my comfort zone, like really pushing myself, a good goal. So I'm gonna go with that. 1,000 stitches a day is totally possible if I'm working on the right project. And I'll kind of tell y'all the ideas that I was having, but I think that 1,000 stitches a day, something that's loose, I can work on whatever I want to work on. I think that'll help actually keep me going through mania. So, okay. I will link the Stitch Mania group, of course, below with everything else. But yeah, jump on over there if you're not. I do believe that there are questions for you to answer before you join the group. Use the hashtag StitchMania tag on Instagram. Stitch, spelled normally MAYNIA, because it happens during May. Okay, so that was kind of the backstory there. So, and I think I have a couple of other plans. No, we're going to talk about them because they might happen during Mania, so I'm going to mention them. Anyway, so the ideas that I had for Mania, the first one that popped in my head was what I eventually started calling Mini Mania, Mini, like small, because I had pulled out small projects, or small patterns that I had that were still sitting in my little storage area that maybe I'd bought forever ago and hadn't started, whatever. Um, yeah, I'm also gonna be like passing the stash on these things when I'm done. So y'all get ready, hopefully, okay, let me get my feet off of the table so we can stop earthquaking. Uh, yeah. So anyway, hopefully we'll have some stuff to give away to y'all at some point. But anyway, so this was not a factor until I got my sock package back. But like I said, I am going to start with this one first. Um, it's super cute. It's from a friend, and I'm feeling it right now. I let a few friends vote between this one and the next one. I did kind of have these in an order because I was gonna work them in a certain order. Since I'm now just kind of gonna do whatever I want, they might not be started and stitched in this order, but that's okay. I'm gonna show them to you in this order anyway. So that's gonna be today's new start. And like I said, that's a Lizzie Kate cross stitcher in residence. So the other mini patterns that I have pulled out, I'm just going to go through these really quick. Heart in Hand, Wee Fruits. And I have like 3 of these Heart in Hand patterns, so all of these are in here. Shall We Dance? Or no, We Dance, but it says Shall We Dance. That's going to be a skin conversion. Um, this one that I got at the retreat in January, Wander. It's a wee one. Not all who wander are lost, is what it says. Cute little snail on the top. Lizzie Kate, their Thanksgiving Flip It. And it does have the little charm in there. So, that one. This is their yearbook series for their 20-year anniversary. It's November and December. I am only going to be stitching November for obvious reasons. Well, not obvious. If you're new here or you don't remember, but no judgment. My birthday is in November, and it's around Thanksgiving, which is why I love Thanksgiving themed uh, everything, honestly. Anyway, so just a heads up for this one, and I'll remind you whenever I give it away. I will be using this squirrel charm. Well, maybe. I I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use that squirrel charm because I did buy it for me. But now I'm thinking maybe I'll put something else there. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But don't get attached to the squirrel charm because when I give it away, if I do decide to use it, there won't be a little squirrel charm. And I don't have anything to kind of replace it with. So, yeah. So you will have the one for the December chart though. So, anyway, like I said, we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the charm though. This little one that I actually got off of Michelle Bindy's D-Stash. Friendship from Little House Needleworks. It's one of their Little Sheep Virtues. This is number 9 in the series. Hands-on Design, Harvest Chalk Full. This is one of her collaborations with Priscilla Blaine of from The Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. I'm only going to be doing this little small here. I don't want the whole jar. Floral is not really my thing, so just going to do the little small. This was a market purchase. Ink Circles, The Queen That Was. And I have, whoops, let me not show you the chart on the back. And I have some gold Kreinik from my so far my one and only Mirabilia, so I'll even have some Kreinik to use for that. More Lizzie Kates. I have a whole another series of Lizzie Kates. It's one of those like long pole things. Um, I want to stitch it all together. So eventually that'll be a new start too. Anyway, thankful string. Yep. I am going to split this one after the leaf and move everything over here underneath that first half so that it will be easier to finish. This one is going to be for my mom, prayer connection, another Lizzie Kate. It says prayer, world's best wireless connection. So there's that one. I should be trying to stitch that one for Mother's Day, but I just honestly don't even know when I'm going home, so to see them. So there's that. This is totally a long episode, y'all. So at first I had like a little reward pattern at the end, because it was gonna be, well, I guess at first it would have been 11 or 9 like minis, and then like a bonus reward chart for getting through them, because my original plan was to start one, work on it till it's finished, and then you start the next one and you just kind of keep going, because I did want to finish all of these during May also. So this was I ended up replacing the reward chart, but was kind of the first one. Count your blessings. Or no, it's called, oh my, I'm confused. Okay, the pattern says count your blessings with this beautiful turkey. They stitched that on 18 count linen over 2. So does that mean it was basically like 9 count? So mine will not be that big, I don't think. So I'm not sure if this is called Uber Turkey or if it's called that turkey's not big enough. I feel like it's probably Uber Turkey up there at the top, and this is from Bent Creek. This is a pattern. Quaker to Halloween also was, but this is a pattern that I got in some stitchy kindness from a viewer that she sent. So yeah, that'll be good to stitch that one up too, and then I can put that back in the giveaway pile for y'all. So, and neither of these are reward patterns now, but eventually I moved that one back because Caroline showed this in a recent daily chat video, and I remembered that I had it and love it and still want to stitch it. So this is One More Stitch from Little House Needleworks. When I stitch it, I'm not going to be doing this sampler bit at the bottom. I'm just doing the top part with the house. Yeah, so those are patterns that are up for grabs for starts. So if I am feeling like doing a new start, I'm going to try to aim for one of those. I have fabric for all of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got enough fabric for all of them in the event that they did. Well, sorry, y'all. In the event that they did, you know, I'll get started and finished, but I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, there are those. I also had, so that was one idea for Mania, Mini Mania. And then I also had the idea of focusing on getting parks done for the National Parks Challenge in Full Coverage Fanatics. They picked 25 national parks, and for each, there's nothing like super special about the parks that they chose or anything. They just chose different ones. And for each park, you pick one full coverage project and you put in 4,000 stitches, and then you've completed that park. Some people are using it all on one project, Jessie Marie. Some people are using one tier, one project per tier. So they chose 25 parks, and then they broke them down into sets of 5, so 5 sets of 5. There are 5 tiers, that's what they're calling them, and so there are 5 parks in each one. So each set is 20,000 stitches. So if you finish all 25 parks, 100,000 stitches for the year. I, of course, am aiming to finish them all, just using all of my full coverage whips. And I was hoping by now that I had a whole system, but of course that kind of fell through. I had a system for how I wanted to get them done, and I'm not really feeling that at all. I stopped feeling it in January, honestly. But yeah, so I want to get more progress done on those, and that will happen. Now that, with the open stitch count goal, I can, like I said, I can work on whatever I want. So, um, yeah, so if I'm in the mood for a new start, I'm gonna have a new start because I'm only letting myself start these and they're small, so I won't feel quite as bad about them, hopefully. Um, yeah, so, that's how we're gonna do this. What other ideas did I have? I also had the idea to just do like kind of a finish mania. So, and even that idea in itself evolved because at first I was just thinking like projects, whips that I already have that are close to finishes or could be quick finishes. I was gonna pull those out, set goals, work on them. And then that kind of evolved into, well, what if it was all a finish mania and I just started my minis, started them all last week and started them early, and then they're quick, so I could just get a bunch of finishes in May. That didn't happen either. I was working on finishing other goals. I kind of lost my stitchy bug a little bit for a couple days, so it's fine. I didn't really lose it. It was just definitely lacking. My brain and my body were definitely telling me, "Hey, dude, take a break." um, which is totally how I started a new sweater because that's what my brain needed. But that's okay. That's how I'm that's how I feel like I need to manage through this time, and that's what we're going to do. Um yeah, so I need to like get all this stuff cleaned up around me. Oh, okay. I'm like at that point now where I'm like tired of talking and hearing myself talk. It's been an hour and a half now. Good gravy. So, can you tell I don't like blow up my boyfriend's ears this much? It's been an hour and a half and I've had to take 2 drinks of water. I mean, I should be. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is what y'all are here for. So, okay, the other two things that I want to talk about. Um, okay, I mentioned one sal that I was doing, but I forgot to mention the other one. So I mentioned earlier the stay home and finish your whips sal, which is the hashtag. It'll be linked below or written down below at least. Over on Instagram that Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches, kind of started and people have been using during this time. So the two finishes that I got, I counted them both for that. And then the North Alabama Stitchers Facebook group, yeah, I met some of the ladies in that group at the retreat back in January, and I mean, now all of this stuff has started, so we're not having meetups anyway. Um, but yeah, so anyway, in their Facebook group, they've been doing little events and things. And after market and the excitement for a couple of different patterns, they started this sal called the and it's a tag on Instagram too. Hashtag building connections sal. So it's both building connections. We're all stitching with each other on our projects during this little stitch along, but also the projects have buildings in them. So yeah, any project that has a building in it of some sort. So I used Quaker to Halloween for that one. It counted. Ooh, excuse me, because of the house that was in it. And then uh, Cross Stitcher in Residence will also count because of that house right there. So, and a couple of other ones, like One More Stitch would count. I think the November yearbook one has a house on it. So, yeah. And then, I mean, my whips also have houses. You don't have to finish the projects that you do for that sal. You're just working on something that has a building in it. Yeah, so, I mean, even my whips will count if they have buildings. So, that was one thing that I forgot to mention. And then the other two things are things for my friends, because those are the people that I stitch things for, family and friends. That's it. um, so one of the things that uh, my best friends, we have a Instagram group chat between us, and we're constantly like sending each other things. So Fiddlesticks AU posted this freebie that's now available. Um, and it says just breathe, but not on me. Or wait, sorry, I can't read this backwards. It says just breathe, but not on me or near me. Breathe over there. And I just thought it was hilarious, so I sent this to them. And they both thought it was great too, but one of them really thought it was great, so that's going to be stitched up for her. Spoiler, it's the same friend that I have the Lucy Beam I Will Cut You pattern for. Yeah. Can you tell what type of humor we love? Um, but anyway, so I'm going to stitch that for her. It's a possible start because it's small. I also was thinking there's still some Be Well and Stitch patterns that I want to do. Oh, I'm mentioning these because they could also be started during Mania if I feel like starting them. So I have this one for her. I don't have fabric for I Will Cut You. I don't think. I don't think I have fabric for that that would work. That I want to stitch it on rather. Anyway, so whoops, I'm still on our conversation. So there's this one um, that I might stitch for that friend, and then there are three of us, and then the other friend. Oops, I gotta get to the pattern here. So she is the pregnant friend, and she's having a little girl. Oh my gosh, we're so excited, y'all. Um, okay, so I told her to go searching for some baby samplers and pick out one that she wanted me to do for the baby, because how can I not? This baby, as far as I'm concerned, if I can like get my life together, is gonna be spoiled. I haven't started knitting anything for this baby. That's where that yarn comes in. This baby might be getting. Anyway, so this is the. Well, actually, I'll show you the whole thing in case you want to just look it up now. But I will make sure uh, that I link the. I'll link the Etsy shop, not necessarily the pattern, but I'll link the Etsy shop down below. Um, it's Stitch Area is the shop name. Right here, if you guys can see that. So that's the pattern. It says Don't Stop Dreaming with Tinkerbell up there. And I am going to um, add the words for that. I'll find a font or make up a font, who knows, and we're going to add some details in there for the baby sampler. So yeah, that might also get started. Who knows? I have so many knitting podcasts and floss tube videos to catch up on. It's not even funny. So, I think that's actually everything. Now that we're totally at an hour and a half, this is going to take all day to upload. Um, oh, okay. Got to remember that I have to edit in that picture of the yarn. I think that's the only thing I have to edit in here. Okay, so I am going to loves ya and leaves ya. One of the one of the guys in the VKN, he sometimes says that, and I love it. But anyway, so okay, y'all. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this crazy little ride. I knew that I had a lot to show y'all, but it didn't seem like this much until I started talking. But I did also kind of do a recap of the weekend too. There's just so much going on. Like, it seems like there's nothing and there's everything. There's not a lot of real life, but there's a lot of things in the crafty community happening. I think we're successfully keeping ourselves busy with our crafts, right? I think Mania always makes this time of year crazy, so we're kind of just living our normal right now. But yeah, so I hope everyone's doing good. I hope you're staying sane, finding some peace, maybe trying some new things, whatever is keeping you feeling okay. Yeah, if you're still going out and working, thank you. Um, yeah, for you essential workers on the front line, thank y'all. All right, I think I'm looking around, but I really think that that is everything. If it's not, then it'll just have to wait another week. I'm gonna say this because whatever. It's May now. And also, so y'all can be on the lookout. I will still be doing Sunday craft with me videos. And then I'm not sure, so I'm gonna vlog for Mania. I was supposed to, this recording, I kind of forgot, and so I started recording the whip update, but I was supposed to start recording the vlog. um, and that's fine. I'll just start it or before I get started stitching. I need to take some time and eat and stuff. But yeah, so I am gonna vlog. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna do separate. So the craft with me videos, I won't be like putting the vlogs in front of the craft with me like I did this past weekend. That was just for 24 hours of cross stitch because it was a weekend event. So if you don't want to watch the vlogs or whatever, um, you won't have to. The craft with me videos will still go up Sunday, Monday. There'll be about 30 minutes. We might be knitting, we might be stitching. We'll see. So um, there will be that. And then I'm not quite sure, this was what I was going to say, I'm not sure if I'm going to have 2 different points in the week where I upload vlogs, or if I will just use like Wednesday, Thursday. That's usually when I record my whip updates, so I might just kind of pull a Sammy J and do like a week-long vlog and then upload it for y'all. We'll see, because my vlogs do kind of get long. So hopefully I'll remember as I'm going to like put the vlogs in the video file so I can, pay attention to how long they get. Um, okay, I think that's everything. It is 11 o'clock in the morning now. I kept the window closed because I knew there would be noises and stuff. People are going out like crazy. There's a lot of cars on the road now. Some of our things opened up today, so I'm sure that's why. But people were starting to come out more even before that. But anyway, I had the window closed so it would be quiet. But I like, especially with this beautiful sunlight, I like having the window open, feel the breeze while I stitch. And it's Friday, so join in Friday Off the Grid tonight, which is hosted, I guess you could say, it's not wrong, by Caroline at Off the Grid Needle Arts. Lovely soul. So yeah, join us over there this evening, today, whatever, if you're stitching. Show us what you're working on this weekend for Friday Off the Grid party. All right. Oh, and then Louise, who's part of the Fiber Friends, which is why I thought of it, because Caroline is also part of the Fiber Friends knitting podcast. Louise goes live in their Facebook group today. I'll link that too if I remember. Here we go again. Let's write down some more links. Caroline, Friday Off the Grid, Fiber Friends podcast, Facebook. Okay. That was a bunch of initials, just so you know. I was not typing all of that fast. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stop rambling now. I know y'all love it, but I got places to be, meaning my kitchen, fixing my food, and things to do, meaning stitch, y'all. So whatever you're doing, whether it's Mania, whether it's Sania, um, yeah, whatever you're doing, you're crafting, reading, whatever, I hope you're enjoying it. So, okay, I think I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. Let me go get started with my day. Am I really that tired? My eyes are watering up. All right. I had to like get myself together there. So anyway, I'm fine. I don't know what's wrong. I have been staying up late the last couple nights, so I think I'm just tired and I'm hungry. Thank y'all for hanging out with me during these videos. Thank you for the comments, for all the love on Instagram. It means more to me than y'all know. I really love interacting with this community, and y'all have been quite literally keeping me sane lately. So all the best to y'all. I will see you hopefully in a couple days for Craft With Me, and then later next week for filming. Happy Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday, on Taco Tuesday. Gotta remind the boyfriend we have to do burritos. Okay, yeah. So, oh, good thing I bought that meat. Y'all don't need to hear this. Okay. Until next time, y'all. Happy crafting.